The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday. It is a Fight Song Friday episode of the Bostonian versus the book. My name is Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the book. That is the same handle for Twitter X at Boston versus the book. We get replayed every night, late night on Sports Grid Television, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry, Pacific time, 1 a.m. Eastern time. You guys on the replay crew, how are you? If you guys are listening to the podcast, we are available wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. And it is a Fight Song Friday, and it really feels like the first Fight Song Friday of the year because, one, I was banged up last week. Oh, boy, was I banged up. 7 days ago, I was not okay. I had just come out of surgery. I was all loopy. I didn't know where I was. Didn't know what I was going to be talking about. Didn't know where I was, headed from a surgery standpoint. So this thing is here. We got it. We're going with this. We're back with the Patriots hat. Back again. Doubled up yesterday, today. Same hat. And I think I have a really good plan for how I'm going to do a Fight Song Friday. And I think it's going to be sort of the way we're going to do this throughout the entire football season when it's just me. So I spent the better part of, an hour last night thinking about who I wanted to put on the show today. And then I went and realized that in order to do Fight Song Friday justice and do it properly, that we really should do picks. And we really should make picks and break down games and play fight songs for the biggest college football games of the weekend. And then I'll give you my take on it, whether you want to fade or follow, whatever you want. I don't know if I'm going to bet all of these plays that I'm going to give out, but I'm going to tell you if I were to bet, here is how I would play it per se for both college and pro. There is no fight song for the pros, but I'm cherry picking some of the bigger games in college football to go ahead and play fight songs for those games. So there is one game, Vandy in South Carolina. I wasn't able to get a fight song finished in time. I only have one hand. I only have one hand. So it's hard for me to go ahead and do as much production as I would like to do, just because it takes me a very long time. Today was 3.5 hours of production to get ready for a 1 hour show, to give you an idea. It's just me. Like there's no backwards, there's no help. There's no producer in the background. It's just me. So I apologize for only having a couple of fight songs ready to go for us. Iowa UMass did not make the list, Whitrock. I'm sorry. My alma mater going to Iowa City. Just don't win by 60. Like, can you win by 10, 20? Like, you can win. I don't care if you win. Just don't win by a million. Just don't embarrass my school. How about that? Just don't embarrass them. Mikey, look at Mikey Awesome with a super chat. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. That's phenomenal. Welcome back. We've missed you. Opening line today. Let's talk about the state of Milwaukee. All of a sudden, I'm deeply committed to Milwaukee. On a Fight Song Friday, we go to the opening line. Are the Packers going to win the Super Bowl? Okay. I know. Pump the brakes. Relax, Matt. 27-18, the win last night over the Commanders. 2 games at home. Matt LaFleur, we told you yesterday, Matt LaFleur in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, in particular at home, he is 9-0 against the number now. He's a cash cow. Bet on Matt LaFleur. So we have seen the Packers start really quickly. But there is a little bit of a difference when it comes to the Packers of old and the Packers now. And that goes by one player that the Dallas Cowboys traded to the Green Bay Packers, and that being Micah Parsons. He has changed the defense, and he has changed the entire locker room. When the players were asked last night after the victory over the Commanders, pretty much the refrain of what makes this year's team different than previous Packer teams that have gotten off to fast starts. And almost to a man, the answer is, well, we have Micah Parsons now. And you watch the way the defense plays, there's a jump in that defense. Maybe the Lions aren't going to be that bad, because we all watched the week 1 game and we went, wow, that team looks like they're missing Ben Johnson. That does not look like the same Lions team by any means. If you watched that game last night, you had to at least go, man, they got a defense that can make it a really big problem for a Commanders offense that looked pretty good last year. 27-18 really isn't telling the whole story about what that was. That was never a game. There was never a question about whether or not the Packers were going to win that game. It was never in question. The back door was open for like 2 minutes on that last drive in the fourth quarter that maybe they would have won the game by 2 and not covered the 3. But other than that, it was 14-3 at break. At no point in the first half did you think that the Green Bay Packers were the least talented or the lesser of the two teams on that field last night at Lambeau Field. Second half, yeah, big return to start the second half. It was a pretty good performance in the third quarter for the Commanders. But overall, it was, oh my, hold on a second. I have a 27-1 ticket on the Milwaukee Brewers to win the World Series. And I almost bought it last night. I almost took the Packers to win the Super Bowl last night. It's $7.50. This is FanDuel. Others are at 8.5 to 1. They're the fourth choice. They're shorter odds to win the Super Bowl. The Packers have shorter odds to win the Super Bowl than the KC Chiefs do. Baltimore, Buffalo, Philadelphia are the 3 teams that have shorter odds than the Green Bay Packers. I didn't buy it yet. Here's why. I need to see this team go on the road. I got to see what the Packers look like on the road away from Lambeau, frankly, in October, because their schedule is about to get much more difficult than what it has been. And I told you guys going into the year, I am not high on the Commanders. I'm not even that high on the Lions. So while the 2 wins are very impressive, and I like what I'm seeing out of the Packers, and I am 2-0 betting on the Packers this year in the NFL, and I like it. Let's keep going. They're on the road at the Browns. Not a real test. At the Cowboys, though, on Sunday night, on the 28th of September. Okay, now I'm listening. Bengals are at home, and then they go on the road to the Cardinals and the Steelers. 4 of the next 5 games for the Packers will be on the road. Let's see what they look like after that. If they are still playing at elite levels on the defense, I have no debate about the offense and Matt LaFleur. It's the defense that I want to see. How good can they be? If they are dominant, and if Micah Parsons gets more and more comfortable in this defense and he starts to be just a game wrecker every week, okay, maybe it will be time. And maybe I will be mad at myself for not jumping on the $7.50 right now. That might be the best price we get. But I would rather bet on them to win the Super Bowl after their first loss to see if the shine comes off the penny, if you will. If people start to go, good start, but typical Matt LaFleur, tremendous in September and pathetic in December. That's been the knock on the guy. He hasn't been able to deliver in the postseason for a deep run. Got a quarterback now in Jordan Love, who I think is ready to take a step to become one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. I really, and this is, here come the Lions fans. JPC, Packers always win in September. It's their Super Bowl. Yes, that's the knock on Matt LaFleur. But Jordan Love has a receiving core that they lost Jordan Reed last night to a broken clavicle. That's not good. couple of really good tight ends. I mean, Josh Jacobs has now rushed for a touchdown in 10 consecutive regular season games. He was minus 200 to score last night. I talked about that yesterday. He's got a running game. He has a really good offensive line when healthy. They weren't healthy last night, and they still played well enough to win that game against a very good defensive front for Dan Quinn's Commanders. So even with, a patchwork offensive line, they still kept Jordan Love upright. Jordan Love had a run last night in which he came around the corner and lowered the shoulder on a cornerback and decked the guy. Jordan Love has always been a very hesitant runner of the football. But if he starts to run for first downs, if he starts to become a more willing participant in the running attack, here we go. It takes the offense to a whole new level. Again, I'm not ready to buy the ticket yet, but I'm close, and I'm going to be watching this Packers team because defensively, and Micah Parsons said it last night after the game, everyone calls it defense wins championships, but it's a little bit different because the offense with Matt LaFleur has always been very good. Now he's got the quarterback. Now he's got two tight ends. Kraft was great last night. Got a running game, got an offensive line, and now there's a game wrecker in Micah Parsons. If quarterbacks have to get rid of the football just a half a second faster than they want to, if he is forcing quarterbacks to identify where Micah Parsons is at all times, and if offensive linemen are jumping off sides, are just not focused on what they need to be focused on because of who is on the other side of the ball, that's huge. That's gigantic. And that changes things in the NFC North and the NFC in general. Because right now, there are some really big questions in the NFC. Let me put the odds up again here, okay? Ravens and the Bills. Those are your 1-2. AFC. The Eagles are not going to repeat. I will say it again. The Eagles are not going to repeat. Then we go Packers, Chiefs, AFC, Lions, and the Rams. 19-1 for the Lions and the Rams. I mean, you start looking at the NFC, and there's not this clear-cut 100% upper echelon group of teams. I think if you take the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs, you take those three teams in the AFC, and there's a question about Kansas City, by the way, but it's Ravens, Bills. Take those two teams, and we pretty much will be stunned if one, if not both of those teams are not in the AFC championship game. We know who's elite in the AFC. We've seen it already with the talent in the quarterback play. The defenses are a bit questionable, but the Ravens defense should get better as the year goes on. And on paper, and paper means nothing, but on paper, the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. They are. Do they get to San Francisco, to Santa Clara, to Levi Stadium? I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe it's Lamar's time. I hope it is, but I don't know if it is. I'm not falling for the Lucy with the football thing with the Ravens. But this Packers team got me thinking last night. Like, this Packers team got me going, okay, let's see. Let's see how this all plays out. Let's watch a couple of games. But I'm very interested in buying tickets on the Green Bay Packers after this 2-0 start, after the quarterback play. Let's go on the road at the Browns and at the Cowboys. If they are 4-0, heading to a home game against the Bengals, that's a monster game. They could be 5-0, and then they're on the road against the Cardinals and the Steelers. It's hard to think that they're going to run through all of those teams and 4 of the next 5 being on the road. It would be surprising to see them stay undefeated, but we may be able to buy the dip with the Packers. They got the pieces. They 100% have the pieces. They have the coach. They have the quarterback. And now they've got Micah Parsons, which could change absolutely everything for this team and this franchise. Big win. I don't want to oversell it, but you can see the pieces because here's the final point. Do you want to go play football in Green Bay, Wisconsin in January? Everyone's building domes in the NFL. The Bears want to build a dome. The Browns want to build a dome. Nobody wants to play outdoor football anymore. Do you know what the Packers are built to do? They're built to play outdoor football. They got a running back in Jacobs who's a mutter, who can play in the elements. They got Micah Parsons in a defense that flies around and wants to take your head off. If I'm a team in the NFC, you don't want to see the number 1 seed Green Bay Packers. That's a very difficult test and task to go win on the road in the playoffs at Lambeau Field. In particular, if the weather comes into play for that game. Big advantage for the Green Bay Packers when it comes to playing at home in the postseason if the weather is a problem. In late January, it very well could be a problem for whoever goes to try to dethrone or knock off a 1-seeded Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about what happened last night. All right, what happened last night, if you are a Yankee fan, you know about this already, but look, whenever your name is put in the same sentence as Joe DiMaggio, it's impressive. Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs last night for the Yankees. 4th now. He ties DiMaggio for 4th all-time in home runs in New York Yankees history. That is an incredible accomplishment. You have to at least tip the cap to Aaron Judge and say that's incredible. Incredible. The Yankees and the Red Sox start a series tonight at Fenway Park here in New England. Massive for the Yankees. Red Sox are 7-1 this year against the Yankees. We'll do more on that game a little bit later on in the show. But 2 home runs for Aaron Judge. Very impressive performance. If he stays healthy, he should wind up being the all-time home run king in New York Yankee history, which puts you in the Hall of Fame. Not saying he doesn't belong now, but he's a first ballot, surefire Hall of Famer if and when he retires. Judge with 2 bombs last night is exactly what the Yankees wanted to see before a huge series against the Red Sox tonight, with Lucas Giolito on the mound for the Red Sox, who has been very good this season and has not given up many home runs so far this season. More on that game coming up a bit later on. The WNBA ended their season in the regular season last night. Sunday. Playoffs begin on Sunday in the WNBA. This is the bracket as to what we're going to see. The first round, best of 3, then best of 5, and then best of 7. I'm going to draw your eyes to the top right-hand corner in the Las Vegas Aces, who will play Seattle in the opening round of the WNBA playoffs. The reason why, not just because I'm in Vegas and have watched quite a bit of Aces games this season and other seasons, the Las Vegas Aces are plus 310, plus 350, depending on the book, to win the WNBA championship, which would be their 3rd in their existence in Las Vegas. Vegas enters the playoffs winning 16 consecutive games. 16 straight games they have won. They were wishy-washy. They were a mess. They did not know what to do with their current roster. They traded away Kelsey Plum, and they didn't know how to put the pieces together. And then they remembered that Becky Hammons is their coach, and now they're the 2 seed in the WNBA playoffs, and they've won 16 straight. This has happened 4 times previously in the WNBA, where a team has won 15 games in a row in the regular season. All 4 previous times that a team in the W has won 15 straight games, that team has won the championship. So if you're looking for a future play, if you're looking for something to jump into, 3-1, 4-1 return on the Vegas Aces to win the WNBA championship is not a bad look. They got a championship coach. They have an MVP, perennial MVP, and arguably the best player in the W in Asia Wilson. So the pieces are there. Now you have the record that backs up the pieces, the coaching, and they're going to be a formidable opponent. Now, the Lynx still very well might be the team that wins it all, and they're probably going to be a really difficult team to do this, but this is going to be fun to watch from a WNBA playoffs. Yes, and CBW Sunday playoffs up against the NFL. They're going to get rolled. They're going to get completely destroyed. There's no debating on that. They're going to get knocked, ratings-wise. No one's going to pay attention. But it's not so much about Sunday for me. It's during the week next week. where I think the WNBA playoffs might get some attention as we get to like the conference finals and then the WNBA finals. You could find an audience somewhere in the country that wants to pay attention to that. But from a bracket standpoint, I mean, if you're looking for some value, Aces aren't a bad thought to jump in with that. That's the Fever, no Caitlin Clark for the Fever. The Lynx playing up against the Aces in the WNBA finals is probably what we're going to see. And that's going to be a killer matchup and a really fun series. But if you want to talk about historic numbers, historically speaking, a team that wins 15 games or more in the regular season has gone on to win the WNBA championship every single time. Vegas has won 16 straight. Let's see if we go 5 for 5 if you want to jump on that future ticket. Not a bad one to jump into it. Okay, we're going to combine two things. Just the picks and Fight Song Friday. College football first, NFL football after that for Just the Picks. So we're going to break down games individually here and talk about each one. Not every game, obviously. There's too many. But the big marquee matchups, the big games going into the weekend for tomorrow for college football, I want to get into it. I don't have a fight song for all of them, but I do have a fight song for most of them. The fight song for the Tennessee Vols. They are at home taking on number 6 Georgia, the number 15 ranked Vols, with a really big test on their hands coming up on Saturday. Georgia is currently favored by 4 at our friends at BetCris Arizona. Tennessee as a home dog has historically been a very good bet. Georgia has a chance here with a ton of eyeballs on this game to assert themselves and put themselves right into the driver's seat for the SEC championship, at least to get to Atlanta. I can't wait to watch this game because I have been very high on this offense for Georgia. Everyone talked about the defense, and the defense is going to be absolutely unbelievable. But I've been high on the defense, or on the offense rather, and I really want to see what this offense looks like for Georgia. Tennessee, top 20 team. This is a very difficult place to play. If you are a college football fan, Georgia at Tennessee, Alabama at Tennessee, these are very difficult places to go and win and cover spreads of this size. My little spidey sense says Georgia by 3 and take the points with Tennessee. But I'm really concerned about the turnovers for the Volunteers. It's probably the only thing that's going to keep me off of this. I wish this game was at night. If this game was at night, I probably would take +4 for Tennessee. But this game being in the window, the 3:30 Eastern time, prime time SEC window, I don't know. Georgia's won 8 straight games against Tennessee. That's the longest streak in the rivalry that started back in 1899. 1899. I mean, the Vols have won 9 straight, and they are 21-1 at home since the start of the 2022 season. Do you guys know that one loss? That one loss? Do you know what that one loss is? That one loss is to Georgia. It's to Georgia. I can't stand Rocky Top. I've been to Neyland Stadium 4 times, I believe, to watch games involving the Vols. It's one of the loudest places I've ever been to. I've been on the field during a Bama-Tennessee game where literally the person standing next to me, I could not talk to them because it was so loud. Like jet engine doesn't do it justice. And when you have Georgia coming to town, Georgia and Alabama get these people completely wild. It's a checkerboard game, which looks so cool. The Vols have won 3 games in a row when they do the white and orange checkerboard, and it looks just super cool. I like Gunnar Stockton a lot. Here's the problem. It's his first true road start. In his first true road start, he's got to go to Tennessee. He has to go to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. I like Georgia to win the SEC. I like Georgia to find a way to win this football game. But I can't take them. I can't lay 4. I think it's too heavy. I want 3. If it comes down and we see a late move on Tennessee, and this number comes down to 3, I'll take Georgia -3. But at the current price, at Georgia -4, home dog Tennessee, as long as they don't turn the darn football over. Joey Aguilar making his SEC debut, but he's a guy who's been around for a while. Appalachian State quarterback, though, so it's like, you ready to take on a Georgia defense? If they turn the football over, they're dead. Like straight up dead. Oh, you got 2.5, K-bro? Good for you. That's the price. Georgia -2.5 is the number. Yes. If that number comes around, that's gone. But if you can, good job out of you taking that early, because that's the price. Georgia -2.5. That's the number to bet. But at 4, boy, that's tough. Don't think I can lay the 4 with Georgia. I'm tempted to take the 4 with Tennessee at home. We continue on a Fight Song Friday. It's going to be an absolute awesome atmosphere. Notre Dame, number 8, at home against number 16, Texas A&M. Can you believe this is game 2 for the Irish? Game 1 was on the road at Miami, and they looked good in the second half. Like if they had played that game from halftime and they flipped the halves, and Notre Dame could have played another half after they played the second half, they would have beaten Miami. The problem is, well, CJ Carr and company in the first half didn't look good. I think the Irish today, or tomorrow rather, I think the Irish are going to play with some fire, some intensity. As long as I am under 7 here, I like Notre Dame. I think this is a big ask for Texas A&M to go on the road here to take on the Irish. I think this is going to be these are games, you don't see the Irish lose games like this. I think they run the football. Jeremiah Love, some of the lines people were using with Jeremiah Love, I was laughing about, like he's in the witness protection program and where is Jeremiah Love? I think they're going to run the ball at A&M. I think they're going to give CJ Carr some chances here. And the team that showed up in the second half against Miami are going to prove that they got a shot here to be a national championship contending team. And this is the beautiful thing about the playoffs right now. Okay. The playoffs, you can lose your first game, get hot, win your home games, and still get a very good seed in the college football playoffs, which is exactly what the Irish, I think, are going to be able to do. Ride that defense, ride the offensive line, which didn't play well at all against Miami. But CJ Carr, let the kid throw and then run the ball. Run the ball, please. Like Marcus Freeman, run the ball. Let the kid play. Okay, run the ball. Lay the 6.5. I'm good with it. 6.5. Irish at home against Texas A&M. I like them to win. I like them to look like everyone thought they were going to look like against Miami. It was a tune-up loss, call it that, and then a bye week. The Irish played week 1, bye week 2, home opener against Texas A&M. Huge opportunity to get CJ Carr game experience, game film, to make a leap, to go and ride that home atmosphere. I'll take the Irish. I'll lay the 6.5 with the Irish at home against Texas A&M. fight song for LSU, Florida on the road at LSU. And this might be it for Billy Napier. This is such a big game for Florida. It's a big game for LSU, but it's such a big game for Florida. Florida, the 7 tells me all I need to know, that we're already at 7 here on Friday for LSU at home. And my gosh, this team for Florida, Gator fans were so excited. DJ Lagway, 5-star quarterback, was supposed to come in and change everything. They finally had a guy that could run the position, that had opportunities to put this team and do huge, huge things. But here's the thing about LSU that has been so wild. Blake Baker, the former Missouri defensive coordinator, has given LSU a competent defense, something that the 2 previous years could not be found. LSU had offensive talent that rivaled anybody in college football, but they couldn't tackle, they couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, and they could not put teams away. This LSU team looks different. This LSU team, and I talked about it during the summer, where their win total was 8.5 or 9, and I thought, okay, wait a minute. If they get off to a really fast start, LSU's got the pieces. They got the weapons, they got the pieces. But if they get a competent defense, they're going to be a problem. And watching LSU so far this year, competent, I'm actually kind of being insulting, I think, by calling it competent. It looks like an old school LSU SEC caliber defense. And that's something we have not said for many years, and not under Brian Kelly. We have not seen that and said that about LSU. I have friends of mine who are big LSU fans that feel like this is their time, that college football is wide open this year. And it's hard to argue, right, about how good these teams are, like who actually is really good in college football. LSU with Garrett Nussmeier coming back, having a chance to go pro, saying, no, I'm not going to go pro. I'm sticking around. You have experience. He's only thrown 2 touchdown tosses so far this year, but the Clemson win, 17-10, is a game that they would have lost in previous years. They shut down Clemson in the second half. No points allowed in the second half against Clemson. Louisiana Tech last week, it's 23-7, whatever. But Florida's loss to South Florida, you could say, well, they were looking ahead. They were looking ahead, and it's too easy. Lagway has got, weapons now, and this defense is going to play really well. I don't know. I mean, Billy Napier is coaching for his job. Brian Kelly called it crazy for anybody to call for Billy Napier to be fired at Florida, which is kind of like, really? Like, I get it. You're protecting your brethren, but like you can justify it, right? Like you can explain it. You can explain why Florida would feel like Billy Napier, this is not what we signed up for. We've given the guy 4 years. It's time to move on. It's time to find somebody else that can take this program and be competent, because frankly, college football is better when the Florida Gators are good. When that program is good, it's just like Alabama in a lot of ways to me. I mean, maybe I'm stuck in 1992 with Florida and Alabama, but like college football needs Bama to be good. College football needs Florida to be good. It's just better. It's better when Ohio State's good. It's better when Michigan's good. It's better when Notre Dame is good. Like you want your marquee programs. You want your national championship, Heisman Trophy producing programs to be really, really good. And Florida has not been good in a very, very long time. Frankly, LSU hasn't either, but they've always been sniffing around the top 10. And this might be it. This might be it for LSU. This might be the year for LSU. LSU's got a quarterback. LSU's got an offense. LSU's got a defense. They have a layup against Southeast Louisiana in their next game. So there's no worries about looking past Florida. There's no worries about LSU not being focused. But after that, they go to Ole Miss, which is going to be an awesome football game. If LSU wins this game over Florida, like I expect them to win this game in cover, then they go and they'll be 4-0 as they head to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin in Oxford. September 27th, Circle that game. That's the first road SEC test for LSU. LSU is a team to watch. I thought they were a sleeper to win the national championship, and shame on me for not buying a ticket on it. I should have, because I've thought it all summer that if they got a competent defense, and right now, Blake Baker has made it more than just a competent defense. That's a good defense for LSU. It's been very, very impressive. One more college game to break down. And I'm sorry about this. I don't have Vandy or South Carolina. I don't have that, but we can talk about it, because here comes Diego Pavia, and here comes Vanderbilt on the road against South Carolina. And this game, I cannot wait for this football game. All last year, we talked about the home wins for Vanderbilt and just how good Vandy had been, and knocking off number 1 Alabama and taking down the goalposts, and just going to Nashville to play Vandy was tough. Nobody wanted to do it. This is a night game in Columbia. Vanderbilt winning 44-20 on the road last week to Va Tech sets up this matchup and puts this game really right where it should be at 3. This number is 3 for Vanderbilt against number 11, South Carolina. Lenora Sellers, quarterback for South Carolina, Heisman Trophy candidate, up against Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt, catching 3 on the road. I'm not sure I would take the 3 points. Instead, if I'm going to take it and I'm going to play on Vandy, I'm just going to take the money line. I'm just taking money line at plus 132, because I think if they cover, they win. It just comes down to who wins the game. I don't think you got to play around. I think if they do wind up covering, if you do see South Carolina cover, they win the game, and probably win the game going away. It's probably not that competitive, to be quite honest on that. I think you're going to see, I don't think a blowout, but it won't be close if they cover. But if Vandy covers, Vandy wins. And I cannot wait, because this is how you kickstart a Heisman Trophy candidacy. You're getting 4, Roger Long. That's great. Vandy plus 4. Yep. I like it. And then we all on Monday very well might be talking about this. Is the CW carrying that game? Is Vanderbilt at South Carolina on the CW? Wouldn't shock me if that's the case. Man, Jimmy Jack, we're teasing college football. Guys, no. Teasing college football is not something you want to be doing, guys. A 13-point teaser on top of that, Jimmy Jack. What are we doing? That's crazy. No, don't be teasing college. You don't need it. It's the value is not there. Moving the number versus the price you're going to pay for it. And I get it. You only pay the juice when you lose. I don't think that's something I would be doing. I think just take Vanderbilt money line. I mean, do I think they get blown out by 20 points? Could they? Sure. Do I think they're going to? No, I don't think they're going to. I think if you're a Vandy fan, you just hope that you can keep Lenora Sellers from really hurting you. Diego Pavia has thrown 5 touchdown passes. He's completed 75% of his passes so far this year. Last year, I mean, Vanderbilt is a team that everyone loved to talk about as like the little engine that could. I'm not so sure anyone's taking Vanderbilt lightly anymore with Diego Pavia. 44-20, a win against Va Tech on the road. Pavia threw and completed 67% of his passes, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick, ran the ball for 61 yards. South Carolina's got a big game at Missouri next week. Not that they're looking ahead, but huge game in the SEC. That game's on the SEC network. Vanderbilt against the Gamecocks. I'll ride the story. Let's go. Vanderbilt money line to beat South Carolina. Let's go with Diego Pavia to keep this thing rolling, to keep this going as it should be going. I'm in. Let's go Vandy. Last year was home wins. This year, let's make it road wins for Vanderbilt to go in there and knock off teams in the SEC and really showcase what this program is all about and what this team is doing. Give me Vandy. Money line at plus 132. All right, to the NFL we go. We talked about this game yesterday, Patriots at the Dolphins. The number has moved back. So we told you yesterday, this number opened up at Patriots minus 2.5. Excuse me, Dolphins minus 2.5. It had been bet down to a pick yesterday during the show. Well, the professional money has shown up and they've moved this number directly back to the Dolphins minus 2. And I think if we get 3, I very well might be interested in taking the Patriots plus the 3. I did not like the early line move on New England. I thought that was the wrong move. And I told you the stats yesterday about Drake May and the games, the 11 games in which he has played in the second half for the Patriots so far. He's 1-10 straight up in those games. So he's not elevating his team. He's also not covering. He's 4-7 ATS in those games. But the Patriots have a lot of questions that need to be answered that could be answered if they play well against Miami. The Patriots are in a much different position than the Dolphins are. The Dolphins are imploding. Okay, the Dolphins are literally ripping each other apart on the sidelines and the media. Like, it's just bad. Tyreek Hill's got all sorts of legal problems. Like, it's a mess for Miami. Tua in September, though, has done very well at home. September Tua is kind of like Jordan Love in the Packers. September Tua normally is a big thing. The Patriots defense, if they don't have Christian Gonzalez back, it could be a problem. That passing attack could really do damage. If the Patriots take a big step forward defensively in this game, and if they can pressure Tua, and if their pass rush can get home, I think the best bet on this game is actually the under 43.5. I don't think the Patriots score very much, and I'm not sure the Dolphins offense will score very much, given what we saw last week on the road against Indianapolis. The Dolphins may win and they may cover the game, but I think the under 43.5 is actually the better way of approaching that game if you're going to bet it. Right now, I would take the Patriots plus 3. At a pick 'em, I would take Miami all day long. Okay, if I'm getting a money line price at minus 110, I do think there's a very good chance that Miami wins this game. But I don't think it's going to be by more than 3 points. I don't think it's going to be a gigantic score differential. So Miami minus 3, I would take the Patriots plus 3. The number, again, opened up at 2.5. First move was all pro money on the Patriots, and now the buyback has come back with the Dolphins, pushing it back to 2. Where does it close? By the time we get to Sunday, do we go back to 2.5? Do we go to 3 for the Patriots and the Dolphins? And again, this is where, if you're betting these numbers early, you could have taken 2.5. You could have laid the pick with the Dolphins. Like, this has been a pretty volatile game early in the year. There is definitely a disagreement in the market at the moment. Circa is now at 2.5, by the way. So is BetMGM. They're at 2.5. The best price on the Dolphins is 1.5. So the Superbook's at 1.5. Caesars is at 1.5. And so our friends at BetCris Arizona, they're at 2. So Circa's at 2.5. So they are right now, Circa and BetMGM are the leaders here for the price on the Dolphins that have come back. So let's see what happens. If we get 3, I think the Patriots plus 3 is a pretty decent number. If the Patriots are catching 2.5, they're a perfect teaser leg. Like, this is, with the total being 43.5, the Patriots plus 8.5 is absolutely the way that I will do that. So I haven't made the bet yet because I want to watch and see how this number plays out. But if you're a Wong teaser person and you're going to wait for the game to get as close to kickoff as possible before you go ahead and jump on it, the Patriots at plus 8.5, that's a good bet. That's a Wong teaser leg. That works. Yeah, I would agree, Chef Benny. In the first 10 minutes, the Pats are going to win. Yeah, I would agree with that. If the offense is moving the football, if Drake May looks more comfortable, if the Patriots are going to use Efton Chisholm, if they're going to have him out there in the slot to help move the sticks, if Stephon Diggs is a bigger part and a bigger weapon. Last game 1 against the Raiders, it looked very much like last year where Drake May was obsessing over his tight ends and trying to force the ball to both of his tight ends. He needs to look to his wideouts and needs to look more to Stephon Diggs. So if Diggs has a big game, and frankly, you can break the will of the Dolphins. The Dolphins play the Bills next week, okay? This is an absolute must-win game for the Miami Dolphins. The Patriots, you start 0-2, you're most likely not going to the playoffs, but it's a 17-game season now. That whole stat about 0-2, that's for a 16-game season. This is a 17-game season now. So there's a lot of football to be played for the Patriots to turn things around if they open up 0-2. If the Dolphins are 0-2, they're going to be 0-3, and Mike McDaniel is probably out. So we'll just see how fast the Dolphins want to get rid of their coach. Because if the Patriots go up 10-0, in the first 2 drives, if it's 10-0 New England, the Dolphins probably quit. And they probably say, we're all done. That's it. No more. We're all good. Move on. The heat is absolutely a question, Chef Benny, 100%. Yeah, I'm not worried about Drake May. I'm worried about the linemen. I'm worried about the big guys. They're the ones I'm worried about. Like what can they handle the humidity? Can they handle the heat in Miami? So I think it's a good teach. Wait to see where this number goes. If it doesn't go to 3, if it hits 3, take the Patriots +3. If it stays at 2.5 and the books don't want to go to 3, tease it to 8.5. Take that, cross 3, cross 7. It's a great long teaser leg. Go ahead and then find a dance partner for the Patriots there. But that's absolutely how I would play that game. Eagles against the Chiefs, arguably the game of the weekend, game everyone's going to be talking about here. This number, it's 1.5, but it's pretty much a pick, right? I mean, just talk about money line. I mean, if you want the 1 point, that's fine. You can take it. It's Circa is at pick. Superbook's at 1. Caesars, BetMGM, they're at 1. Bet Chris Arizona, they're at 1. So technically the Chiefs are a home dog, which then puts it into this conversation of, oh my gosh, Patrick Mahomes is a home dog. Okay. Technically, I guess he's a home dog. It's more of a pick 'em. I don't know, and I'm pretty confident that I will be on the Chiefs come Sunday. The Eagles, I look at so far so good, right? With my predictions here. I like the Cowboys. I don't like the Commanders, and I don't like the Eagles. Cowboys so far have looked fine. Now we'll see what they look like coming up here this week, but I think against the Giants, they got a really good chance to open up and have a run. So Cowboys and Dak Prescott looking good. Then Giants now, chance to keep rolling. Yeah, and this is the stat, Roger Long. KC's been home dog twice in 5 years and lost both games. Are they going to be a dog at kickoff? I don't think they're going to be. I would be stunned when the limits open up on Saturday. I would be stunned if the Chiefs are a home dog just because it's Mahomes at home. I can't get my mind around that. So while all the stats, and again, everyone's going to say, oh, home dog, Kansas City. Okay. I know the offense. I mean, arguably the best, again, much like the Patriots game, the best bet in this game is probably the under 47. I don't think the Chiefs are going to score. Really, first half under. I played the first half under for the Chiefs and the Chargers in their first game. But KC to open up 0-2. Really? 0-2? I mean, are we good with that? 0-2 for the Eagles and the Chiefs? I can't. I just can't. I can't get my head around that KC opens up 0-2. So I'm going to wait and see what the number is near to kickoff. Again, if you're looking for a late game teaser, you're looking for a teaser in the afternoon window, this is perfect. I mean, you can take the Chiefs from, if they're going to be catching 1.5 points like they are at FanDuel right now, take that 6-point teaser. It's 7.5. KC at home catching 7.5. It's a pretty good number. You can go and look around. I mean, Indianapolis and Denver, that game is a dead under 43.5. That's a dead under Indianapolis and Denver. If I was going to bet that from a teaser perspective, I would give KC plus 7.5. I would take the total from 43.5, tease it up to 49.5 and bet under. And there's your 2-leg afternoon window teaser if you're looking for it in the NFL. Like Vic Ferrari said 0-2. Vic thinks KC opens 0-2. The Chiefs just aren't good. Who's spiking your drink, CBW? It's not me. I'm not giving you the haterade for the Chiefs. I'm the one that hates the Chiefs. You hate the Chiefs now too? Interesting. I don't deny that the Chiefs could have a problem with the defense for the Eagles. I'll concur. But at the same level, were you all that impressed with the Eagles and their offense? I know it's week 1, but were you like running around going, oh my, look at that. It was all Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts did everything. Like everything in that game. So I don't know. You guys, everyone's on the Eagles. Eagles win. Chiefs window is closing or closed. Wow. This is interesting. You guys are all against the Chiefs. JC is the only one who likes it. Well, he is the Chief fan of the brigade, so it makes sense why he would like the Chiefs. But really, yeah, I like the Chiefs. I most likely will find myself to hold a ticket for Kansas City based upon the numbers. And again, if I can get this, if this number climbs by what you guys are saying and how you guys are talking, it feels like this number is going to climb. That we might get 2 or 2.5 for the Eagles. We're not getting 3. There's no way in hell that we're getting that. But 1.5, 2, and then tease the Chiefs up to 8. I don't know. Oh, well, a tie. Fine. Go ahead and tie. That's fine by me. Oh, Chef Benning's with me. Give me the Chiefs. I don't know. Kelsey injured the one good wide receiver. That is true. He did do that. And he, on his podcast this week, was pretty apologetic for that, saying, I've been in the league for 13 years. You can't have me running into my wide receivers and hurting my guys, which is exactly what happened. He ran right into his guy and dislocated the shoulder for Worthy. So I get the point. And I think but again, home opener, back after the trip overseas. I don't know. Mini bye. I'm not high on the Chiefs, but I'm lower on the Eagles than you guys are on this. So yeah, 0-2 Chiefs. Absolutely. Anything's possible. I just think when it comes time to bet the game, most likely I'm going to be on the Chiefs. If I'm catching points for KC at home in week 2, I'm probably going to say Mahomes pulls some rabbit out of the hat. Remember, the last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl, it was so embarrassing for Kansas City. Like this game means so much more to KC than it does to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles lose. Who cares? They don't care. They move on. The Eagles are, they won the championship. They won when it mattered, if you will. And it's a road game in a very hostile environment. I mean, it's a late kickoff in Kansas City. Chief fans are going to be completely 3 sheets to the wind come kickoff. That's going to be in September when you can tailgate starting at like 5 a.m. outside of Arrowhead, that place is going to be a house of horrors. It's going to be really hard to play in that environment. Like, again, I think people forget what Arrowhead's like. And the Eagles, this is public enemy number 1 in Kansas City. Like the Eagles, no one's done that to the Chiefs. And they did that to them in the Super Bowl. So payback, this game means more to Kansas City than it does the Eagles. I think from a motivational standpoint, I think that's another reason why I think you take the Chiefs here. But again, Jalen Hurts played so well in week 1. Pretty impressive. And finally, let's go Falcons and the Vikings. This is your Sunday night football game. 3.5 is the number here at BetCris Arizona. I'll be very curious to watch this because if this game for me feels very much like a same game teaser and taking the total to 50.5 and bet the under and then going ahead and trying to figure out what to do with the Falcons. Do I want to give them 9.5 and tease them up to 9.5, or just go ahead? If I get to a 3, maybe I just lay it with the Vikings. I was very impressed with JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell, home opener, primetime game. Michael Penix, it wasn't his fault that they lost to Tampa Bay, but if they open up 0-2, that's a really tough task here for the Falcons. I'm big. I'm heavy. The biggest bet I have made The biggest preseason bet I made was Tampa Bay at plus 110 to win the division. So I'm 100% all in on the Vikings to win this game and to drop the Falcons down to 0-2. But it wasn't really Michael Penix's fault in that opening game. He had guys that just dropped the football, like period, just could not hang on to the football. His surrounding cast needs to play better. But that Viking defense led by Brian Flores at halftime, they threw a switch against the Bears. And they really confused Caleb Williams. And I wonder if that same thing is going to happen here with the Falcons and Michael Penix. Additionally, I don't expect the Vikings to forget about the running game like they did in the first half of that game against the Bears. I expect them to pound the rock. So, maybe there is a move here on the Falcons that drives this number to 3. That's what I'm hoping. But at 3.5, I'm a little bit hesitant to lay it with the Vikings, but I think Minnesota wins the game. I think this game probably goes under, but I do like this game for the Vikings to open up 2-0, and I like Kevin O'Connell. It's not that I dislike Michael Penix. I do dislike the Falcons, and I don't understand why Kirk Cousins is still a member of the Falcons. Like, someone's going to have to explain that to me. Why isn't Kirk Cousins traded somewhere yet? Like, what are we doing? Like, Kirk Cousins should not be sitting, as a quarterback on the sidelines with a baseball cap on. That's an asset you can go and get something for. They didn't trade him in the preseason. They didn't trade him in the offseason. And now he's just sitting there, and I have no clue what they are doing in Atlanta. But that's typical for Atlanta. I mean, their kicker couldn't make a big kick in that game against Tampa. So now here against the Vikings, let's see what happens. But yeah, okay, bro, I'm with you. Mini for the win. A big Mason game. Sure. Yep. That's possible on that. The Eagles did trade for Tank Bigsby. That's true, Vic Ferrari. That's true. They did. Is that going to swing the bet? You make a bet off Tank Bigsby, former Jaguar? Come on now. We're not making that bet, right? We're not making that bet. Before we let go of the sports grid, folks, let's just talk quickly about Canelo and Crawford. The fight happening T-Mobile Arena. Allegiant Stadium tomorrow in Las Vegas. If you're going to bet Bud Crawford, do it now. Okay? If you're going to follow what I think is going to happen, what Kevin Iole thinks is going to happen, where a lot of us who are fight fans and boxing fans, if you think it's Bud Crawford by decision, bet it now, because the numbers are moving in favor of Bud Crawford. And there's a little bit of the favorite price has bounced around. It's 175 at DraftKings. It's 182 for Canelo at FanDuel. Circa's at minus 167, by the way. But the dog price is 140, 142, 147, 140. Pretty consistent from a dog price perspective for Crawford. So if you're going to bet Terrence Bud Crawford to win this fight, it's basically the same price, essentially, because it's 10.5 from a rounds perspective. Nobody's expecting a knockout for either Crawford or for Canelo. But Crawford by decision to win this fight, take it now, because I think the price is going to get worse throughout today into tomorrow. But I will be on Bud Crawford by decision to win this fight. I think his footwork, I think Canelo is going to have a hard time hitting Bud. I think from a boxing perspective, Canelo is fighting a real boxer. Maybe the best boxer he has fought since he fought Floyd, and he lost to Floyd. That was a long time ago. But generally speaking, Canelo has had guys who want to stand in front of him and they think they can knock him out. I don't think that's what Bud Crawford's going to do. I don't think Bud Crawford cares to knock out Canelo. I don't think he cares. He wants to win. That's all he cares about. And I think from a pure boxing standpoint, I will go with Bud Crawford, North Omaha's own, to get a victory, a massive win for him to beat Canelo in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Netflix, yes, good call, Sonic. That fight's on Netflix, not pay-per-view. It's a Netflix. It should be a huge, and I mean a huge audience on this. Ish. Whether the fight's on Mexican Independence Weekend, you know how many times I've watched Canelo Alvarez fight in Vegas during Mexican Independence Weekend? As I asked Kevin Iole, can Canelo lose a decision in Vegas? And yes, the prevailing opinion is it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. It used to matter. It used to really, really matter to Vegas that Canelo kept on fighting in Vegas and kept on. I mean, he lost the first 2 fights to Triple G. Okay. 7-5, 7-5. He lost the first 2 fights. Canelo won the 3rd fight, but the first 2 fights went, in my opinion, to Triple G. 7-5, 7 rounds to 5. Those were handed. Adelaide Bird, look it up. Vegas made a call for Canelo. I don't think Vegas makes the call here. Oh gosh, Crawford by decision plus 315 on DraftKings, huh? Well, I have access to DraftKings. I'm in New Hampshire. I might have to go and find that to take it for Crawford. Huge fight. Should be so much fun. Cannot wait. If you guys are watching live, don't move. More Fight Song Friday coming in bonus time on the replay crew. Thank you for being here. Come join our Discord channel, thebvbshow.com. We're going to hang out there during the weekend. We're going to make picks, plays, watch the fight together, hang out. Free Discord, thebvbshow.com. Click the link, come into our Discord channel, be a part of it. It should be a lot of fun coming up this weekend. Saturday night, Sunday night. Huge sports weekend. It's going to be so much fun. So come in here and join us. If you guys are with us on the replay crew on Sports Grid TV, thank you for being here. You guys watching on YouTube, don't move. You're getting more with bonus time. All right. Let's see. Oh, it's just a boost. Thanks. You can apply it anywhere. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that for DK. If you want to trail that and take Crawford by decision. I haven't really played around with that. I keep on waiting for DraftKings to shut me off. I've been doing really well. I've had a really good week since I've been busted. You know, when you don't go anywhere and you're just kind of stuck at home, I've had a really good week. So I keep on waiting for DraftKings to shut me off, but hopefully that's not going to happen. But you know, I haven't played around with the boost. So that's a good call. Let's go ahead and jump in on the boost. Okay. Let's talk about some more baseball. Yankees, Red Sox tonight. This is going to be a wild game. Red Sox are 7-1 against the Yankees. As we talked about the 2 home runs for Aaron Judge yesterday. It's Heel versus Giolito. Now, the Red Sox are 8-2. Sorry, that was 7-1. They're 8-2 against the Yankees this year. Money's all on the Yankees. Okay. It was I guess I'm wrong. The money's on the Red Sox. Sorry. It opened up at 155. It's now down to 125. Money's on the Red Sox for Lucas Giolito. I get why. Heel's been good. Arguably the best pitcher for the Yankees, but he hasn't pitched a ton. The team has won 2 of the last 3 starts by Heel. He's pitched well. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs since the 3rd of August, since he came back. So he's been great. But Giolito at home has been tremendous. The best bet in the game is the under. That's the best bet in the game in my mind. Giolito at home this year has a 3.56 ERA. He's 5-1 at home. His ERA in the month of August was 2.39. The team won every single game he started in August, except for 1 on the road at San Diego, where he gave up 4 earned runs. That's the most he's given up. Basically, he gave up 5 on the 23rd of July, but was the worst start of the season for Giolito. He's been tremendous. Last start against Arizona, not great, but the defense let him down. He gave up 2 earned runs, but 4 runs overall, 5-1 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. That snapped a 4-game-in-a-row win streak. 2-1 against Miami, 6-3 against the Yankees, 5-0 against Baltimore, and 5-2 against the Blue Jays. Under. To me, if you're going to bet this game tonight, it's under. Red Sox, Yankees, under. Could be a playoff type atmosphere at Fenway Park coming up here tonight. Red Sox are 44-28 at home. Yankees are 37-34 on the road. And like I said, they're 2-8 against Boston coming up here. So big game tonight at Fenway Park. Under, I think, is the best play. Other baseball games. It's my time. It's the Brewers. We talked about it in the opening line with how much I'm in love with the state of Milwaukee, or state of Wisconsin with Milwaukee. Quinn Priester to the mound. I'm stunned in the way that gambling Twitter obsesses over certain stories. I can't believe that the Quinn Priester story is not a bigger one. Quinn Priester, if you guys haven't seen this, the Milwaukee Brewers have won every single game started by Quinn Priester since the 24th of May. They won every game in June. They won every game in July. They won every game in August, and they've won the one game he pitched so far in the month of September. He's won the last 3 games, 5-2, 4-1, 4-1 on the run line. Quinn Priester has been a run line marvel for this for this team, for the Brewers. And he's facing a pitcher in the Cardinals and Palenti, who 6-13, a 5.28 ERA. The team won his last start. That snapped an offer in the month of August. Every game in the month of August started by this guy. For the Cardinals, the team lost. And they lost the majority of them on the run line. 7-4, 8-3, 6-2, 4-3, 9-1, 7-3. He gave up 2, 6, 4, 5, 7 earned runs. Brewers run line tonight. Take it. Shop around for the best price on it. Take it. Same bet, different teams. Cubs tonight. Now, I don't love Matthew Boyd. I'm just straight up. He's not great. I don't love him. I like him. I don't love him. Cubs have won 2 games in a row. Matthew Boyd, left-handed pitcher. It's more of a fade on Shane Baz. Shane Baz, 4 of the last 5 games started by Shane Baz, the Rays have lost 6-0, 13-3, 3-0, and 3-2. So we're 3-1 on the run line. When he loses, the team blew out Seattle 10-2 on the 1st of September. He went 6 innings, no earned runs, the best start for Shane Baz in forever. His ERA in the month of August was 7.92. His ERA in July was 5.40, and the team lost every single game he started in the month of July. They won 1 game in the month of August. So between the 1st of July and the 1st of September, the 26th of August, the team won a grand total of 1 game started by Shane Baz. Run line, Cubs. We're jumping in on the run line for the Cubs on that. Let's do one prop bet for the plays coming up on Sunday. Let's talk about the Jets. Not that I want to, but I think it's worthwhile. Our guy Debro, on his week 2 primer on Fantasy Pros, highlighted a fantasy play that I think we can make some money on betting. And that's Breece Hall of the Jets to go over 58.5 yards rushing. Now, Breece Hall for the Jets, I think, will have a heavy workload up against a Buffalo Bills defense that's not very good. According to Debro, Breece Hall played 58% of the snaps with a 70.3% of the running back attempts in week 1 for the Jets. He had 21 touches for 145 yards. He had a very impressive per touch basis of a 26% mixed tackle rate and 2.58 yards after contact per attempt. Derrick Henry diced this Buffalo Bills running attack. And last year, Buffalo allowed the 8th highest in missed tackles and 12th most yards after contact per attempt. Breece Hall should get the rock, should run the rock. And so we're going to trail this and take Breece Hall over 58.5 yards rushing for us here in this week. I am very curious. Jets against the Bills. Is it going to be that's a fun game. I'm super excited to watch that game because, okay, are the Jets smoke and mirrors? Was that just their offense in week 1? Or are they legitimately going to be a good football team and fun to watch? I cannot wait to see how that's going to play out. Time for my favorite thing about today. Favorite thing about today is that the weekend is here and we have an unbelievable sports calendar. I mean, we got tonight. I like Arizona tonight up against Kansas State, catching 1.5 points at home in college football. I gave you the baseball plays for the Brewers, the Cubs. Oh, Toronto and Baltimore under 2. Under 8 for Toronto and Baltimore as well on that. 2 good starting pitchers in Toronto and Baltimore. But after tonight, we have a huge Saturday. I mean, just games on Saturday. Georgia, Tennessee, like we talked about. Can't wait to watch Vanderbilt in South Carolina. Notre Dame hosting Texas A&M. It's going to be awesome. The backyard brawl between West Virginia and Pitt. Cannot wait to watch that. And then Saturday night, we have Canelo in a massive fight up against Crawford, a guy who I've covered and been around since I moved to Omaha in 2005. UFC no change. Yeah, I know everybody made weight. Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by 5 pounds. 5 pounds. That's intentional. You miss weight by 5 pounds, like you're intentionally, that's it. Like you're just deciding to completely go over on that. JPC, thank you. Boo Ben Boo? Boo Ben Boo? What's Boo Ben Boo? I don't know what that is. Good job. I am really excited to watch Canelo and Crawford. Like Netflix, let's go. I wish I was there. It's in my backyard. I'm here on the East Coast, so I can't go to it, but cannot wait. And then Sunday, I mean, we got Patriots, Dolphins at 1:00 Eastern. You have 4:00 Eagles and the Chiefs. And then we have Vikings and the Falcons. That's just, line it up. Like line it up. Oh, boo, Ben, boo, Ben Johnson. Okay. Bears going in. I think the Lions are going to kill the Bears. I think you guys are going to be really happy. I really do. I think that's, yeah, I think you're going to light them up. Don't think the Bears are going to do well on the road. I think Ben Johnson's got some issues. I think Caleb Williams has got some growing pains, and I think the Lions are going to take out some of their frustration. I think the Packers are that good. I think the Packers are that good. I think the Packers right now are really talented and one of the best teams in the NFL. And I think that's why we're going to see it. And we're going to go, oh, crap, the Packers are good because the Lions are taking the Bears behind the woodshed and beating the tar out of them. I think the Lions win that game by 14 points or more. So I lay the points with the Lions. I think it's going to be a rocking atmosphere in Detroit. And I think it's an absolute buzzsaw coming for the Bears coming up this weekend. So on that, should be fun. And then we get, obviously, Monday. We'll be back on Monday to kind of recap everything and look ahead to Monday Night Football. We have 2 games on Monday Night Football, by the way, 2. And Houston at home. Yeah, I don't know. Tampa Bay on the road against Houston. I like the Bucs. We'll get into that game on Monday. And then the Raiders and the Chargers, big game late, 10:00 Eastern time, start time. Brew me the cup of coffee already because I don't know how the hell I'm staying up to watch that game, but I'm going to attempt to stay up to watch the Raiders and the Chargers and then come here and do the show. But that's what we're doing Tuesday is basically recapping both NFL football games coming up. So that late game on Monday night is crap. I'll give it to you, Ish. From an East Coast perspective, now in Vegas, it's glorious. From a West Coast perspective, I'm telling you right now, all of us on the West Coast, if you give us the option to have 2 games on Monday Night Football, we would sign up 100% because that's a 7:00 start, which is 4 p.m., and a 10:00 start, which is 7 p.m. And I have 2 NFL football games back to back on Monday, 4:00 and 7:00. Yo, that's beautiful. Like that's glorious. On the East Coast, however, that's a whole different story. It is a whole different problem. That's a whole different issue on that. So looking forward to that. Huge sports weekend. For everything about today, let's go sports. Guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Good job on a Fight Song Friday. Back on Monday to recap it all. Get into our Discord channel, thebbbshow.com. I'll be in there throughout the weekend watching sports, breaking down games, picks and plays, and more coming up for us over the weekend. I'll talk to you Monday for a new episode of the Bostonian versus the Book.